History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it does follow patterns. And over the last 500 years, one specific pattern has brought down three of the most powerful empires the world has ever known. What's unsettling is that in 2025, the United States appears to be moving through that same sequence. Not suddenly or dramatically, but step by step, making many of the same choices that led to collapse before. In the late 1500s, Spain stood at the center of the world. It was the richest empire on earth, fueled by vast reserves of gold and silver. Its armies dominated Europe, and its currency was trusted far beyond its borders. Yet less than a century later, Spain was financially ruined, reduced to a weakened power that never reclaimed its former influence. Centuries later, Britain followed a similar path. In 1914, the British Empire was the largest in human history. Its territory spanned continents, and the pound sterling served as the backbone of global trade. But within 40 years, the empire unraveled. Its currency lost dominance, and Britain shifted from global leader to junior partner in a new American-led world order. Then came the Soviet Union. In 1991, the USSR was one of two global superpowers, armed with nuclear weapons and worldwide influence. And yet, in just over 2 years, it collapsed. Not because of invasion, but because its economic system failed from within. 3 empires, 3 superpowers, 3 total breakdowns. Each followed the same underlying sequence, and here's the part that concerns many analysts today. The United States has already passed through 5 of the 7 stages historically linked to imperial decline. This isn't a distant threat. By many historical measures, it's already underway. What collapse really looks like. Empires rarely fall the way movies portray them. Collapse doesn't begin with enemy armies crossing borders, it begins with economic exhaustion. As empires expand, they take on global military commitments, overlapping conflicts, long-term promises, and massive debts that grow faster than their ability to repay them. At first, nothing appears wrong. The currency still works. The military still wins battles. The government still projects confidence. But beneath the surface, cracks begin to form. Resources are misused. Domestic production weakens. Skilled and ambitious people leave. Then the pace accelerates. Allies quietly prepare alternatives. Rivals test boundaries. Trade partners look for new systems. Confidence in the dominant currency begins to erode. And slowly, the very advantages that once created power turn into liabilities. This isn't theory, it's history. Spain, where the pattern begins. After 1492, Spain became the world's first true global empire. It seized control of the richest gold and silver deposits ever discovered. By the mid-1500s, enormous quantities of silver flowed into Europe each year. Spain effectively controlled the global money supply. But that wealth masked deeper problems. Spain fought wars across multiple continents at once, draining its treasury. When taxes failed, it debased its currency. When that failed, it borrowed heavily, declaring bankruptcy 4 times in 40 years. As imported wealth increased, domestic production collapsed, industry declined, agriculture stagnated, crime rose, poverty spread, the most productive citizens left. By the early 1600s, Spain's empire still existed on maps, but economically, it was already finished. Britain and the Soviet Union followed the same trajectory. 2 world wars drained its wealth. Debt replaced dominance. Its gold-backed currency collapsed. By the late 20th century, the empire existed only in history books. The Soviet Union took a different path, but reached the same end. Central planning crushed innovation. Military spending consumed enormous resources. Despite vast natural wealth, the system failed to meet basic needs. When oil prices fell and reserves vanished, the structure collapsed, without a single foreign army stepping in. The United States today, now consider the United States. It maintains hundreds of overseas military bases and global commitments unmatched in history. Its currency, once backed by gold, has steadily lost purchasing power since the 1970s. National debt has surpassed $36 trillion, with interest costs nearing $1 trillion per year. Manufacturing has moved offshore, supply chains rely heavily on foreign nations. Social trust is weakening, crime is rising, and political paralysis dominates decision-making. Just as silver once flowed out of Spain, dollars now flow outward, increasing dependence rather than resilience. Recent discussions around de-dollarization and alternative trade systems have only intensified these concerns. What history suggests comes next. Historically, Stage 6 is the loss of reserve currency status. Stage 7 is sudden collapse, not slow decline. Empires don't gently fade away, they fracture. Every empire believed it was the exception. Everyone was wrong. The only remaining question is when, not whether the pattern completes itself.